surprise at all. It's
Money
who he
Mayweather.
is. It's who he is. I've always thought that he's a horrible person, and this is every bit of
Fortunate because, saying Floyd Money Mayweather. Surely I was going to get my check fairly quickly, right? And that did happen. So I'm sure it'll come eventually, right? I realized, okay, I'm being strung along. This is a classic, hey, buddy, you're the new guy in this industry. We're going to puppeteer you however we want. Hop on for the ride and shut up. Instead of shutting up, I make fun of him on social media and let everyone know that he doesn't have any money. I kind of joke and I'm facetious and I point the finger at Floyd. Well, I don't know if it's his fault. Maybe a little bit, but something tells me Floyd doesn't control where the money goes. Or maybe he does.
The boxing community has been buzzing with reactions to the latest wave of allegations surrounding Floyd Mayweather. Some are labeling him a politically motivated has-been chasing relevance, while others are pointing to him as a symbol of everything that has gone wrong with the sport. Here is how some of the biggest names in boxing are responding to the growing storm around Mayweather.
It's a tough one. I'm trying to understand, as a real estate person myself, what exactly he is communicating when he's saying that he owns this, because they're trying to make it seem like he doesn't, but what it seems like is that he owns shares of these buildings, and it's a larger, it's part of an investment that he did on his.
Amir Khan has alleged that certain individuals and well-funded organizations have been quietly approaching high-profile public figures with substantial financial offers in exchange for making public statements in support of Israel. Khan claimed that he and his wife were among those contacted with such a proposal, but that they turned it down without hesitation, unwilling to use their platform to promote conflict. He then pointed directly to Mayweather's very public pro-Israel statements and appearances, strongly suggesting that Floyd accepted one of those arrangements out of financial need rather than genuine conviction.
Join me in expressing heartfelt gratitude to Magen David Adom, the Israel response team. No matter who you are, gender, race, or religion, they are there to provide elite medical care and support. With over 30,000 dedicated volunteers from diverse backgrounds, they are the true heroes of Israel Emergency Response Team. In these tough times, let's rally together and support.
These accusations arrive against a backdrop of intensifying scrutiny around Mayweather's financial standing. Back in 2023, his name appeared in legal proceedings connected to a collapsed real estate venture reportedly valued at around $400 million. Additional civil cases have surfaced alleging unpaid debts, questionable promotional arrangements, and failures to honor contractual appearances, all of which have fueled growing suspicion that his financial empire has quietly been crumbling. For Khan, a man who has never shied away from controversy, these developments provide important context. In his view, Mayweather's recent pattern of behavior, from low-stakes exhibition bouts with enormous payouts to politically charged endorsements, is not the conduct of a sharp businessman still operating at his peak. It is the conduct of someone under serious financial pressure. Khan was blunt about it, invoking karma in reference to Mayweather's long history of flaunting wealth through fleets of luxury cars and traveling with duffel bags stuffed with cash, even during periods of widespread global hardship.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, limited edition AP, all factory, 1.8 million right here. The $20 bills section. We like to call this the Andrew Jackson section, but I like to call it wallpaper. 200,000.
Oscar de la Hoya did not merely throw a jab at Mayweather. He went straight for the wound. When he described Floyd's recent exhibitions as a genuinely bad look, he was not simply critiquing the entertainment value. He was speaking to something deeper, about legacy, about dignity, and about the slow unraveling of greatness. Floyd, who was once the gold standard for intelligent, business-minded excellence inside the ring, now cuts the figure of someone trapped in a desperate loop, flying from Dubai to Nigeria to Japan to pull on gloves for exhibition matches that no one particularly asked for. Arenas are noticeably underfilled. Opponents tend to be internet personalities or retired combat sports figures, and the overall production carries the energy of a traveling sideshow. De La Hoya's criticism was measured and cold precisely because it came from a place of recognition. He has seen this road before. Fighters who let money slip through their fingers, who put their trust in the wrong people, who eventually get consumed by the very lifestyle that once elevated them.
So embarrassing. Floyd, you're 50 years old. You're a legend in the sport. I've stood up for you in countless interviews, including Shannon Sharpe's podcast last week. But you have to stop embarrassing yourself with these exhibitions. I know life is hard, I know life is expensive, but come on dude, put your legacy first. Nobody wants to remember you like this. And it gets worse, your jeweler filed a lawsuit against you in Miami. And many are saying you're gonna have to sell off your assets. Floyd.
There was a time when Floyd Mayweather's operation was one of the most tightly controlled machines in all of sports. He dictated the story, set the pace inside the ring, negotiated the money splits, and owned every element of the spectacle surrounding him. Something has fundamentally changed. The exhibitions are no longer simply about staying sharp or satisfying a competitive itch. They carry the unmistakable scent of necessity. His fight in Dubai against an obscure opponent was reportedly clouded by bounced checks. The financial dispute stemming from the Logan Paul event is still being contested in court. Mayweather Promotions itself has taken on a strange, hollowed-out quality, with no promising new fighters on the roster, no major pay-per-view events on the calendar, just Floyd surrounded by yes-men and a rotating cast of vague investment schemes. There were also reports of him diving headfirst into the NFT boom of 2021, lending his name to projects including a cryptocurrency later flagged for operating as a pump-and-dump scheme. That is not the behavior of a retired legend making calculated moves. That is the behavior of someone urgently searching for liquidity.
Crazy that everybody keep asking me, why you not coming back to fight? Why you not coming back to fight? So I look at the fight game, I said, okay. I said, you know, fighters fighting, they make 3 million, 4 million, 6 million, 7 million. Some may make 10 or 20 million. But I'm doing exhibitions and I'm making 20, 25 million, 100 million for exhibitions. So why would I come back and fight?
Then there is the real estate situation. Multiple properties reportedly connected to Mayweather have either been refinanced or placed under liens. One Las Vegas mansion carrying a multi-million-dollar price tag reportedly came dangerously close to being auctioned off due to unresolved tax complications. The word from people familiar with the situation is that Floyd does not own nearly as much outright as his public image would suggest. A number of the properties carry mortgages rather than being free and clear purchases. For most wealthy individuals that would be entirely unremarkable, but Floyd built his entire brand around being the king of cash, the man who strolls through life with a duffel bag containing 7 figures. The IRS reportedly showed up with demands following the Conor McGregor fight, seeking a considerable share of that massive payday. That was 2017.
It'll be great.
I feel good, training hard.
It was great.
Did Floyd not take out his own jets?
Floyd got 3.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
Floyd,
yeah.
so Floyd's got the
you know
one
what
he
else
got,
he got?
and he got 2
Tax
others.
problems.
Yeah.
That's what he's got. Oh no.
I was blind.
7 years on, Floyd is still accepting questionable exhibition deals with Saudi influencers and underground promoters. De La Hoya's reaction is not rooted in personal animosity. He is watching what was once a dominant general quietly selling off pieces of his kingdom just to keep the lights on. Amir Khan, meanwhile, has been even more vocal, going on record to criticize Mayweather's very public expressions of support for Israel and suggesting plainly that the motivation has nothing to do with ideology or genuine belief. In Khan's view, it comes down entirely to money. His comments spread rapidly through social media and boxing circles, with Khan implying that Mayweather is accepting payment in exchange for his endorsement during one of the most sensitive geopolitical moments in recent memory, specifically the ongoing conflict in Gaza.
Some say he's the greatest of all time.
Some The history book says that.
Oh, no, you want to go right now? We'll find out. Many say, it's like in Dabbling, are you many or most? Everyone says.
Let's say 99.9.
99.9.
Canelo Alvarez is operating in an entirely different headspace. He has moved on so completely that questions about a potential exhibition or rematch with Floyd were met with a laugh and a flat refusal. There was no hostility behind it, just complete indifference. Yes, Floyd beat him, but that was a 23-year-old Canelo still developing under the glare of a massive spotlight, facing a defensive genius at the height of his powers. Since that night, Canelo has become the defining face of the sport. He has conquered multiple weight divisions, sold out Madison Square Garden and T-Mobile Arena, and drawn enormous crowds in Mexico. He is carving out his own version of greatness on his own terms, and the blueprint Floyd once represented simply does not apply to where Canelo is heading.
I mean, you fought Floyd Mayweather at what? You're 23?
23.
That's so fucking young.
Yeah.
What was that like?
I trained so hard, and now obviously I try to beat him because, you know, if you beat him, you want to be the best in the world at 23.
What do you think was so impressive about him?
His experience, he's so smart. He have everything in a fighter, a complete fighter. He don't have power in the punches, but when you that kind of fighter, you don't need it.
You think that was the toughest fight you faced?
To Canelo, Floyd's recent behavior is background noise, a distraction not worth engaging with. His attention is fixed firmly on Terence Crawford, a potential blockbuster matchup that could define an entire era of the sport. There is simply no space in that picture for a rematch against a 48-year-old Floyd who appears more invested in who is filming his next promotional video than in the quality of his actual opposition. And unlike some of Floyd's other critics, Canelo is not interested in throwing insults. His message arrives in silence, which somehow makes it cut deeper. Floyd is no longer the benchmark, not financially, not athletically, not in terms of public standing. The generation that has followed does not require his validation to establish itself.
In 2017, however, he dug himself into a hole after making super lavish purchases like this LA mansion. It was so bad that he actually owed $22.2 million to the IRS, which made him have to come out of retirement.
Perhaps most telling is how Canelo has approached boxing as a vehicle for building a lasting legacy rather than a mechanism for extracting maximum short-term cash. He absorbed the loss to Floyd and used it as a building block rather than a source of shame. While Floyd was touching down in Tokyo for another money-driven sparring session against a significantly undersized kickboxer, Canelo was in the process of unifying world titles. Floyd may have introduced the concept of the money team to the sport, but it is Canelo who is now setting the standard for how a modern champion should conduct himself, with purpose, with discipline, and with structure. His wealth is quieter but considerably more stable. Real estate, tequila ventures, business partnerships, and sponsorship deals form a diversified and carefully constructed financial foundation. There are no late-night social media sessions showing off $1 million in jewelry. Just consistent, undeniable results.
Into my lifestyle, showing the people how I live. Now, I know you guys see me on a regular talking about real estate. Well, lately, I purchased 62 apartment buildings in New York City. And what I need you guys to do, slide over and check out the photos. It's not all 62 buildings, it's a few buildings, but guess what? All the buildings belong to me. I don't have no partners. And all the retail down low on my buildings, all belong to me.
Manny Pacquiao made his position equally clear when the subject came up. Asked whether Floyd's exhibition lifestyle might be driven by financial need, he showed no interest in entertaining the spectacle. But Manny's take carries a particular weight given the history between them. The relationship has always been layered, part rivalry, part guarded respect, part prolonged Cold War. When the question of a potential rematch under exhibition rules was raised, Pacquiao's answer came without hesitation. "It is just about the money," he said simply. With those words, he made it unmistakably clear that he wants no part of what Floyd's world has become. Manny remains active in meaningful ways, politically engaged, deeply involved in charitable work, and still spending time in the gym. But the line separating his path from Floyd's current one could not be more visible.
In the exhibition,
Let me know about it. I wasn't aware of this.
with
In Japan.
no other
Against who?
than
We're working on it, the opponent. Like, we're working with Mayweather.
Floyd
You're gonna do an
Mayweather
exhibition with
Jr.
Floyd.
Yes, you heard it. Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Mayweather Pacquiao. Why don't you do it for reals? I don't know.
We don't know.
Pacquiao has turned down multiple rematch proposals that would have taken him to Saudi Arabia, Macau, and even the Philippines, with significant money attached to each offer. He understands exactly what those fights would represent. No championship implications, no genuine competitive stakes, just the selling of shared history to the highest bidder. That has never been consistent with who Manny is. He has channeled his energy into public service, pursuing the presidency of the Philippines, funding the construction of hospitals, and running free medical clinics. He still trains and still spars, but not for social media engagement or cryptocurrency promotional deals. In his eyes, the Floyd Mayweather of today looks nothing like the icon he once shared a ring with. The private jets, the shopping excursions, the theatrical displays of opulence, the property claims that may or may not hold up under scrutiny, all of it requires enormous financial fuel to sustain. And if even half of the rumors circulating right now contain any truth, Floyd's supply is running dangerously low.
Chilling in an EWB Rolls Royce. For those that don't know what an EWB is, that's an extended wheelbase Rolls Royce. I need the leg. I know I ain't that tall, about 5'8.5". Some days 5'9". But it is what it is. Chilling, sitting right here watching the Thriller in Manila, Ali versus Frazier documentary. Come check it out.
Court documents tell a story of lawsuits stacking up steadily. The financial dispute with Logan Paul remains unresolved. A former fighter under the TMT banner has filed a breach of contract claim. There are reports of deep internal fractures within Mayweather Promotions, with key staff members either walking away or demanding wages they say have gone unpaid. The smoke surrounding Floyd has grown thick enough that it is impossible to ignore. For a man who built his entire reputation on being the most precise and calculating businessman the sport had ever seen, the version of Floyd that exists today looks disorganized, reactive, and increasingly cornered.
Computers, but soon as someone black, when my career is over as far as me in a combat sport, as far as boxing, whatever, if I'm promoting on social media or I'm doing exhibitions, it's like, oh man, he's broke. No. It's not a crime for them to make money. They don't say nothing about the guys that's 80 and 90 that's still making hundreds of millions and billions, but as soon as somebody black does it, your people, your own people, say, oh, he's broke.
Devin Haney spent his formative years looking up to Floyd Mayweather. He trained out of the Mayweather gym early in his development, absorbed defensive techniques from that environment, and cultivated a style that drew frequent comparisons to Floyd's in terms of patience and ring intelligence. But Haney has grown noticeably critical of the direction Mayweather's post-retirement activities have taken, particularly when it comes to the spectacle-driven events and promotional decisions that have defined Floyd's recent years. Haney has deliberately charted a different course, making career choices based on long-term impact and reputation rather than short-term marketability. He unified the lightweight division and has stepped into high-risk matchups even when logic suggested he look elsewhere for easier paydays.
It was a bunch of gambling debts. Floyd, okay, and he tried to plant fake news out here saying that he was in downtown LA giving out money, and then he was at the, what do you call it, the basketball game. This is Floyd in Dubai. Yeah.
While Haney has consistently expressed respect for the fighters who came before him, he has stated on multiple occasions that aging champions owe it to the sport to step back and allow the new generation to carry it forward. He never mentioned Floyd by name during those remarks, but they were delivered shortly after the Gotti 3 event, and the timing made the intended target fairly obvious to most observers. In Haney's view, good character does not begin and end inside the ring. Floyd has no business using his wealth as a tool to diminish others or make people feel beneath him, and that is precisely the energy he has consistently put out. In Haney's estimation, the legal battles, the media controversy, and the public scrutiny Floyd now faces are not random events. They are consequences arriving right on schedule.
He did was breaking out of whatever contract he was in initially. He spent $750,000 to break out of his contract, and he's generated so much more money. His own promotion, the money team, he organizes his purse. Deep it. The fight he had with Oscar De La Hoya soon after he broke out that contract was $8 million. With no management team or whatever around him, that's 8 M's for him.
People say he's broke because of the lifestyle he lives, or he's a very big gambler and whatnot, this, that, blah, blah. But does the exhibition fights, people are like, oh, if you're not broke, why is he doing exhibition fights?
When Teofimo Lopez was asked to weigh in on the mounting pressure surrounding Mayweather, he chose to approach the subject without pointing fingers directly. Lopez has built a reputation for calling out what he sees as damaging to the integrity of professional boxing. He has used language like clown show and bad for the sport when discussing exhibition events and staged spectacles, and while Floyd's name has not come out of his mouth explicitly in those moments, it is genuinely difficult to hear those words without thinking of the path Mayweather has followed since leaving the sport. Events like the Gotti 3 exhibition, which nearly descended into a full-scale riot, seem to represent precisely the kind of circus Lopez has been speaking out against with increasing urgency.
He went even further, citing rumors that Mayweather may have been the victim of a $402 million scam related to the Manhattan real estate deal. Smith proposed the question many are now wondering if Mayweather really is a billionaire, why is he still fighting guys with no professional boxing pedigree in venues that feel more like